My name is Michael Reed, and every December my house has one simple rule: if it doesn't sparkle, it doesn't belong here. Ever since my kids were little, we've gone all out for Christmas. Lights, music, inflatable reindeer, the whole deal. It wasn't about showing off, it was about joy. The neighborhood loved it. Kids came by every year to see the lights, parents brought hot cocoa, and even local news once did a short feature on us. But that all changed last winter, when our Homeowners Association decided to play Grinch. It started with a letter. Dear Mr. Reed, your holiday decorations violate the community's seasonal display guidelines. Decorations may not be erected prior to December 10th or remain after January 5th. At that time, it was November 25th, just after Thanksgiving. I'd only put up the lights around the windows and a few snowflake projectors on the garage. I called the HOA office, thinking it was just a misunderstanding. Linda, the HOA president, answered in her usual frosty tone. Mr. Reed, rules are rules. You cannot decorate early. It disrupts the visual harmony of the neighborhood. I laughed. Visual harmony? Linda, it's Christmas, not a museum. Her voice was flat. If the decorations are not removed within 24 hours, you'll be fined. And she wasn't bluffing. The next day, I found a bright yellow paper on my door. Notice of violation, fine, $100 per day until compliance. I stood in my driveway, holding that paper, staring at the glowing Santa Claus on my lawn. My kids were watching from the window, confused. That's when something clicked inside me. If they wanted to play Scrooge, fine, I'd give them a Christmas they'd never forget. For the next week, I planned. I studied the HOA's own bylaws, page by page, and guess what I found? They had rules about decorations on personal property, but nothing about temporary public events. So I called my lawyer friend, Jeff, and asked him a simple question. If I host a public charity event on my lawn, can they stop me from decorating for it? He grinned. Not if it's registered with the city and benefits a non-profit. They'd look like monsters trying to shut down a charity event. That was all I needed to hear. By the first week of December, construction began. Not decorations, construction. I built a walk-through path using PVC arches and LED strips. I set up sound systems synced to a radio station that played Christmas songs. I built a small wooden booth labeled Donations for Children's Hospital. Neighbors started noticing. At first, they thought I'd lost my mind. Then they started helping. Tom from next door offered his spare generator. Rachel down the street donated extra light strings. Even the kids volunteered to help paint plywood candy canes. It became a community project, something that brought everyone together. Except Linda, of course. She showed up one morning, clipboard in hand. Mr. Reed, this has gone far enough. You are in violation of multiple HOA rules: structure size, light brightness, sound levels. I cut her off politely. Actually, Linda, this isn't a private display. It's a registered community charity event with city approval. Here, the permit. I handed her the paper. Her eyes widened. You can't be serious. Oh, I am, I said with a smile. We are raising money for the Children's Hospital, and the city was thrilled to approve it. You wouldn't want to shut down a charity event, would you? She was speechless. I could almost hear the sound of her pride cracking like thin ice. By December 10th, the exact day HOA rules allowed decorations, my house was already a winter wonderland. Over 50,000 lights covered every inch of my property. A snow machine blew artificial snow onto the front yard. A projector played classic Christmas movies on my garage door. And every evening, people came. Families, kids, even local firefighters. Cars lined up around the block just to see the show. The donations poured in. Within the first week, we'd raised over $12,000 for the hospital. Then the local news showed up again. Their headline, Man turns HOA feud into charity Christmas spectacle. They interviewed me right there, in front of the lights. I told them Christmas is about community, not control. If a few extra lights can help a child smile, I'll hang them every year. That quote went viral. Of course, the HOA was furious. They called an emergency board meeting, trying to find loopholes to shut it down. But every time they tried, they ran into the same problem. The city loved it, the community loved it, and the press was watching. At one point, Linda even tried to claim that the event caused traffic disruptions. The police chief himself responded, saying, "Traffic's fine, we are proud of what Mr. Reed's doing." That was the final nail in her coffin. Christmas Eve came, and the whole neighborhood gathered outside my house. Hot cocoa stands, kids singing carols, parents laughing under the glow of lights that could be seen from half a mile away. Even Linda showed up. She didn't say much, just stood quietly watching the kids running around. After a while, she approached me. "Michael," she said softly, "I may have overreacted." I smiled. "It's okay, Linda, even the Grinch found his heart eventually." She chuckled, barely, but it was something. By the end of the season, our little neighborhood charity event had raised over $30,000 for the hospital. The city gave us an award for community spirit and philanthropy. And the HOA, they quietly updated their rulebook, allowing approved community displays every holiday season. Guess who they asked to oversee it? Me. Now every December, I still hang my lights, but I don't do it out of spite anymore. I do it because those same neighbors, who once just waved from their driveways, now come together every year to make something magical. And as I stand there, watching the glow reflect off the snow, I think about that first letter, the one that started it all. Sometimes, all it takes to fight darkness is to add a little more light.